All right, the city of Portland, the state of Oregon, suing the Trump administration to block deployment of hundreds of National Guard troops to Portland. The president says he's doing it to protect ICE facilities. With us now, CNN chief data analyst Harry. And the administration clearly thinks this is a winning issue for them as they keep on doing it and leaning in. What do the polls say?
Yeah, this is fact check time. You know, the idea, we're going to be hawkish on crime, we're going to be hawkish on immigration. It's good for us. But in fact, not necessarily. What are we talking about here? All right, Trump deploying National Guards to cities in the United States of America. Look at this. Just 42% of Americans support that idea of sending troops into cities like Portland. What about the opposition? Look at this. It's the lion's share. 58% opposed, and we're talking about 64% of independents who are opposed. So if Donald Trump thinks that potentially sending in the National Guard into cities like Portland is a winning political issue, the polling says, you are wrong, Mr. President.
The most analogous situation is what happened in Los Angeles, correct? What happened to the numbers there after the president did that then?
Yeah, we've heard this music before, right? We've heard this song before. And what happened the last time that Trump sent National Guards into a western city? Well, take a look at the change in Trump's net approval. Overall, it dropped 4 points. How about on immigration, which of course those protests were about? Look at that. It dropped by 7 points. So we have history of Donald Trump sending the National Guard into a western city. And what happened was there were clear political ramifications for the president of the United States, and they were not good ramifications. What happened was his overall approval rating dropped by 4 points, and his immigration approval, which had been his best issue up to that point, dropped by 7 points, went from net positive territory to net negative territory.
And in this case, he says he's doing it to protect ICE facilities, which brings us to the issue of ICE in general. What are opinions on this incident?
Yeah, so let's take a look at ICE approval. All right, ICE's net popularity rating. You know, in Trump's first term, it was at 0 points. Not too great, but not too bad either. But take a look now. Look at this. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that agency, look at that. Minus 14 points. Down it goes because of their actions during the second Trump term. In fact, the Pew Research Center polled 16 different agencies. ICE's net popularity rating was 15th out of 16th. It was close to being the least popular of all. This bottom line is, John, the president may think this is a politically winning issue for him, but the numbers tell a very different story. It's, in fact, a political loser.
Interesting. All right, Harry, thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend.
Sarah.
All right, joining me now is Congressman Brad Schneider, Democrat of Illinois. Thank you so much for being here. You just heard that polling. Trump is sending troops to Portland. He's also just increased the ICE presence for raids in your state, and he says he will send troops to Chicago at some point, although he had promised that before sending them to Portland, right after he sent troops to Washington, D.C. How do you think the state and local government should respond?
Well, I think what you've seen in Chicago, Illinois, is the way we need to address it. The governor's been very clear. ICE is not welcome to do what they're doing here. They're literally going around terrorizing our communities, tackling people, bringing them to the ground, physical violence, terrorizing communities, not keeping the community safer, but actually making people scared and frightened. And with respect to the National Guard, the governor said they're not needed here. We've all been together on this. I visited Naval Station Great Lakes with Senator Durbin and Senator Duckworth to talk to the base, making sure that their mission of training our sailors is protected and not abused by the president. The bottom line is the president's trying to provoke violence. He's trying to create a situation where he can justify the actions he wants to take. It's a totalitarian playbook that we've seen play out in other places, and it has no place here in America.
All right. In less than 48 hours, we could see a federal government shutdown if no agreement is made to further fund the government. This today will be the first time ever that President Trump will sit down with House Democratic Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. What message do your constituents want Democratic leadership to send?
My constituents, I was around the district this week, all weekend, they're saying the same thing. We need to stand up to the president. The president is trying to usurp the authority of Congress. He's trying to take away programs that Congress has authorized and that the people in our communities depend upon. And you opened the question with a key point. This is the first time, 9 months into this administration, it's the first time that the president is meeting with Democratic leadership. He's made it clear he doesn't want to work with the Democrats. He isn't willing to work with the Democrats. And any deal he would make with the Democrats, he's demonstrated time and again that he's not going to honor. So our caucus is standing strong. We are protecting the health care of the American people. We're working to lower costs of living for the American people. We're going to fight to protect the interests of the American people.
Let me ask you this, because there's a threat out there from President Trump that if Democrats don't vote to help Republicans, at least 7 Democrats have to vote to help pass this continuing resolution. Then the president says he's going to do this mass firings, permanent firings of more federal workers. You know, President Trump and Republicans have been clear that they want a smaller federal government. Does this put Democrats in a lose-lose position here?
The only people losing are the American people. The president has been firing federal workers since the day he took office last January. And they've been going after department after department. The courts have questioned some of those or stopped some of those, and others they haven't put a restraining order, but said that they have concerns and are going to hear the cases. We have seen in departments like the VA and others where the administration has fired people, realized those people are necessary to do the work the American public deserves and demands, and they're rushing to try to rehire those people. Earlier in the show, you talked about the hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean. The president's been cutting the weather service that helps predict and protect Americans in anticipating hurricanes. There are so many departments that this administration has diminished. They've done it with the government funded. They'll continue to do it if the Republicans who control the House and the Senate aren't able to get the votes to fund the government now. But the Republicans control everything. They have the House, the Senate, and the White House. They can't do it alone. If they need the Democrats, we're willing to work with them. We want to work with them, but we're not going to just lay down and let them walk all over us.
You're co-chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee and co-founder of the Abraham Accords Caucus. Do you have any issues with the 21-point Gaza ceasefire that Trump is putting forth? And he will be talking to the Israeli Prime Minister today about it. What's your concern?
Let's talk about possibilities first. I pray we all want this war to end. We want the hostages home tomorrow, today, and we want the people of Gaza to be able to build a future free from Hamas. There will never be peace for the people of Gaza, the people of Israel, the region, as long as Hamas controls Gaza and threatens the annihilation of Israel. So this proposal, the 21 points, there's a lot in there that offers hope for both sides. It's not fully completed. There's a lot of details that need to come out. The devil's always in the details. But I hope that the president and Prime Minister Netanyahu can have a constructive conversation that continues the possibilities. That's why I'm so excited about the Abraham Accords, proud to chair the Abraham Accords Caucus. It sees a different vision for the Middle East, where Israelis and Palestinians and all the people of the region can live together in peace, recognizing each other's presence and the fact that the land belongs, or actually the people belong to the land. Both Israelis and Palestinians belong to the same land. And by embracing each other, looking to a future together, they can not only lift up each other, but they can lift up the whole region.
All right, lots of dreams there. The reality much harder. We will see what the details are. Congressman Brad Schneider, thank you so much for coming on.